Hello.
Hello.
Hello, good morning. Where are you, Gabriel?
I'm here in Florida. I'm home. I'm not at the ashram, but I did check and everything is well there. Um,
Okay, okay, okay.
yeah. So
Well,
uh,
glad to hear that you are all okay and you didn't need to move from your house. Okay,
yeah, in fact, for us, things have been pretty good. The winds were strong, but there wasn't much rain, near us,
okay,
so we really didn't get the heavy saturation and flooding. Um, no, the tornadoes didn't bother us, but just maybe 20 minutes north and south, there was a tornado touchdown. But the thing for us is just with the winds, we've had some intermittent power, flickering. And so I've made Derek host in case we lose reception here, which has been kind of happening just every now and then with the wind gusts picking up, and we'll drop power for a second, and takes a minute for the internet to come back. But it's already past us. The eye is already, out over the Atlantic, and so the worst of whatever we were going to see happens while we were sleeping, and it didn't keep us up really. So far so good.
okay. Glad to hear that.
Welcome everyone. Hope everyone else is safe and in good weather. I spoke with Sam also here in Florida. He's in Orlando, which probably got a little worse than we did. So he may not join us today if he doesn't have power or internet. Mhm. Alrighty, well, let's start a check-in go rounds. So how about with Derek?
Um, well, I guess I have a lot of things that I could talk about. But first I'd like to mention some birthdays. So Gabriel, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yeah. And Julio, happy birthday. And I really like your hoodie, Julio. Um, and then also Martine, happy birthday as well.
Yeah,
Y Yeah, so I guess I'll keep it a little bit light today. I would like to recommend a book, and it's called The Aviator, and it's by Eugene Vodolaskin, and it's the story of the first Russian person, it's a fictional story, to awaken from cryonics. And so it's just really interesting to hear like the Russian perspective about cryonics, and I listened to that, and it was a really good read. But I guess in general, I've been, kind of stressed, like um, just with the political situation and the situation with wars and stuff like that. So I've just been trying to do kind of a fast from social media and trying to not keep pay as much attention to politics and the war stuff, and just trying to, be responsible for what I actually have influence and control over in my life. Um, so yeah, that's kind of what I've been focusing on.
that's good. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for that share. And to add one more, also in this week is Jennifer's birthday. So, there is just a really high confluence of Libras in Terasem. And why not? Because Libras, are the balance, and um, also, that is a good way to, why we mark a graduation, Terasem graduation day, today as well, the 10th of the 10th. So, Ruben, let's go and check in with you.
Hello. Well, first of all, congratulations to all the people that is having birthday today. And well, as something new, I can tell that as I had the feeling that I was lacking of many knowledge about things related to robotics and informatics and so on that are very important for the work we are planning to do in the next years, mainly with Ruth and Matt. So I am beginning next year the career of engineer in the local university, mechatronic engineer, that is an engineer that has mechanics and electronics and computation and etc. I am planning to finish the career when I am 68, so I still will have, I hope, some time for doing something with that. And well, that's are the news.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yes, and let's go over to Scottsdale, check in with Michael Perry.
Hello, everybody. Happy birthday to all those having birthdays and so forth. And well, okay, I'm here at Alcor as usual. And I don't really I have a lot of things I'm working on, but it would be a long business to try to talk about all these things, but I'm definitely busy. And we have had some recent cool downs and things, but right now it's just quiet, so I'm not doing any cool downs. But luckily the meeting's on Thursday, not that this time around. It's not on Wednesday when we have LN2 deliveries, so I don't have to worry about having to possibly leave the meeting for that, so I can sit all the way through the meeting. And so that's pretty much it for me.
Great.
Unless you have questions or something.
No, not just yet, but we may. And you did send me the link to the recording, but I neglected to download it. And so it's actually still downloading. But thanks for doing that. And sorry I didn't I forgot to download it all in advance. So we'll try to play that once I can there. But thanks for checking in. And Martine and Bina, how are you? You're muted. You're muted.
There we go.
I think we're good. I think we're good.
Yeah.
We're happy that the hurricane didn't mess up you guys down in
Yeah, we were
Florida.
really worried about that last night. But we are in Vermont right now. We aren't at the ashram at this moment because we just couldn't make it down there this morning. But everything is good. Freddie's sorry she couldn't make it. She had to go to a wedding in Philadelphia, so she's on the plane. And life is actually very good. Busy as anything, like always for us, but we're very happy, and congratulations to all the October birthdays. And even though I personally don't celebrate birthdays, I try to be nice and celebrate for everybody and say at least happy birthday to everybody else.
I celebrate my mother for birthing me. She did all the heavy labor, no pun intended.
But, still happy to have Martine here with me all the time. That's it for us. We really don't have much going on well, we always have something going on, but there's so many things to talk about. It's just better to pass over some of those things.
I'm with Derek in staying off of the negativity, stay away
Oh
from
my gosh,
negativity
yeah.
and just focus on what you can control. If you
Yeah.
can't control it, just
Why
avoid it.
let that negativity out there destroy another day of ours, another week? I mean, it's just gotten to the ridiculous now. And all we can do is hope that these elections will sort themselves out in the next few weeks.
Well, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing. All right, so we'll go over check in with Julio.
Hi, thank you, and thank you for the birthday wishes, but my birthday was already almost 2 weeks ago. Time flies very, very fast, but I want to wish happy birthday to those with a closer birthday, especially Martin, whose birthday I believe is today, isn't it, Martin? That's it. You look very young for being 35 years old already. And so what else? Yeah, Derek, you mentioned my hoodie. That was a hoodie I got for birthday with a picture of my dog, of course. And I wear it almost every day when it's cold. I'll shut up, but I just want to remind everyone that on December 14, we will have another edition of this Terasem colloquium. About the usual stuff, artificial intelligence and consciousness and all that. And also we'll publish a new issue of the Journal of Personal Cyber Consciousness. And just stay tuned because we have big plans in mind for the future of the journal. So in case anyone wants to either give a talk at the colloquium, we still have a couple of spots free, or publish something in the journal, by all means get in touch with Gabriel or me or both, and we will sort it out. And happy birthday to you, Martin, again. And I won't probably be able to speak later on because it is happens at times my wife controls the sound waves in this very small place where we live. But I'll be listening and perhaps interact via chat.
Excellent, lovely. All right, and so I see we got Danielle here. Welcome.
Hi, Gabe, good to see you're not in 10 feet of water. That's good. And also I think Martine, even though you don't celebrate birthdays, you have a very computer birthday, which is fitting. That's interesting. But yeah, hi everybody. I didn't hear all of everybody's updates. I was a few minutes late, but just to kind of it was interesting because I I made a GPT for Terasem. Like I kind of been skimming through the truths but I wanted to chat with it. So I put it in anyway. I'll share that link in the chat. I also put it on Discord, but I was just using it yesterday and I asked it, what do you do when you're surrounded by negativity? Because as I kind of got from others, it has been crazy. And it's like I felt this shift in me that if I didn't do something very proactive, I could get sucked into like this darkness. And so I went to the GPT and asked it, what do you do when you're surrounded by negativity? And it said exactly what Martine just said, to don't focus on things you can't control and just be grateful for every day and things like that. And I really felt a shift in me to kind of just not engage with social media and the news at this point. Very minimal. I'm watching the weather but it's really, it's just kind of gotten to this point where I want to focus on happiness and joyful people, and having to be very, very mindful about that. So I'm happy to see everybody, and yeah, happy to be done with flying high. Um, and as pretty much everybody else said, work is busy, no need to drum on about that stuff. So, yeah.
Great. Well, thanks for
If I
being here.
may interject,
Yeah,
I'd like to add something to that. I completely agree with the focus on the things that you can control, but I would add that you don't even need to bother with all the things that you can control. I mean, I can control many things for which I don't give a hell of a damn. Just choose of the things that you can control, that you could control, those that you actually care about, that narrows the list and gives you more time to do something good. Unfortunately, time is still a very precious and very limited resource. And when I get to my age, I guess I'm older than most people here, you really understand that you have to optimize your use of time.
Very true. Very true. And Nara, good to see you.
Yeah, good to be here. So I have crazy stuff going on. Amazing. I sold my house, so that's like the biggest headache. 11,000 square feet off my plate, and I'm never going to own a house again. So I feel really good about that. I can, like my whole Mars plan is own nothing. Be ready to jump on a rocket at a moment's notice. So the house is gone, and next will be all the stuff. So digitizing all my books and photos and just trying to get my life into a digital format is the next big step. But I'm just so glad that that headache is over. And I started an internship with a law firm in Luxembourg, and I'm partnering with the House of Web3. So that's exciting. Never was on my list of things to do with my life, but it's an amazing opportunity. I'm terrified of numbers and finance and law. So diving into that and making it my like core is going to be really interesting, and it's kind of exciting. So yeah, and then I'm also starting, I started today. UI UX design course, the 6-month certification. So at the end of that, I'll be able to continue traveling, because like right now I took a day job and I'm in one spot and I'm not used to that. So once I have this certification, I can go pretty much anywhere and work from any location, and it gives me back my freedom. So yeah, so much. Oh my God. And we had a bit of a hurricane here. We got hit by the leftovers from your hurricane. It actually swept in the west coast of Europe, and winds are lashing and rain everywhere, and but not quite what Florida's dealt with. So good to be here.
Awesome. Yeah, great. All right. So we have this Alejandro's note taker, but I'm not sure if it'll speak back to us, but it's welcome to if it wants to talk to us. All right, great. So yeah, thanks for everyone for showing up and checking in and being here with us. So we are in some interesting times, and it is. I was just reading a bit that NPR did. NPR had did a story on the power and uh, uh, something of Octavia Butler of her parable, stories, and just everything that it talks about in 2024 in the book written in 93. We are experiencing with epidemics, pandemics, migration, religious nationalism. It's all kind of right there with us. And I think the story also really tells us about how and what you can control, and what to do with your time and energy. And in that it's amazing how much change does happen and positivity is restored by one person's, audacity to hope in the middle of what seems like imaginable circumstances. They couldn't control the economy, all the society, all of these things, but all they could control was their own hope. And that is really what the parable of the sower is built around. And that one decision to control your own hope, led to such incredible possibility. Although it did not ultimately, find or restore, a personal relationship for, the heroine, right? And so despite all of the beauty, that did come out of that, we still will suffer our own sacrifices and obstacles of character development along the way. Um there's so much you can focus on. There's been so much beauty and good and all this time as well. So as we come to, the time of graduation, I do want to note some of the amazing accomplishments, that so many of us has had. And I want us to kind of take a moment to think about how we have um graduated, and in the course of Terasem, we have done more steps from, Julio's work, not just with the journals and the colloquium, which he's been doing an amazing job with, but the publishing of what I would call another authored self with the rational mechanics, and what Martine has done with the novel of Paradise, Pixels of Paradise. Just another great accomplishment. Ruben with the establishing new ashrams in Argentina. Anara with you know cocooning outside of the shell of this constructed environment, and being able to flap your new butterfly wings out here. And I'm sure there's more and more and more out there, unprecedented numbers of cryopreservations. Just everything has even Terasem itself, I would say, has graduated because of all of these efforts of Terasemians to graduate. And even Buddy is there. Yeah. Um, so I'll stop there and maybe ask Martine to talk a little bit about Pixels of Paradise, because most of us aren't aware. You're muted, Martine. You're still muted.
My bad. Pixels of Paradise is a Octavia Butler-esque novel that lays out a geoethical pathway for the Terasem mission of diversity, unity, and joyful immortality, achieved ultimately via digital twinning, but closely entwined with physical reality. And it's something I wrote actually like 20 years ago, but I didn't really have time to to put it all in a book form and all that. And fortunately, through the web, through this network called Upwork, I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. I found like an amazing collaborator in the Philippines, and with his help, we were able to self-publish that book.
Excellent. Yeah. So I guess I asking everybody else, I skipped kind of myself a little bit. And so just a few days ago was the anniversary of my birthing day, a day I shared with Robert Goddard, among others like Neil deGrasse Tyson. And I had this birthday is the 42nd birthing day. If you are aware of the uh, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, they in that story, the civilization creates a super advanced artificial intelligence, and they ask it, "What's the meaning of life, the universe, and everything?" And it after asking them to wait for 7.5 million years, it comes back and says the answer is 42. And so I was tickled with that coming on my 42nd birthday, and had the opportunity to arrange a Zoom call like this with astronaut Jeanette Epps aboard the International Space Station. And so we had a little family Zoom call with Jeanette Epps and her partner. Um, and would you just found incredible, amounts of synchronicity in the story and in our lives, and everything. So just having that as kind of a cherry, on top of your 42nd birthday, I think was awesome, was spectacular. We had kind of envisioned early on when I acknowledged it was coming to be the 42nd birthday, like how we might throw a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy theme party or whatnot. But um it was just a beautiful, experience, and couldn't have asked for anything, I think, really better to honor and celebrate, that time in that way. So that was my big birthday, experience, my graduation, experience. And um, you know, it's something, I think, just the ability for people to be connected, in such a way. My brother, who is in the Korean Peninsula, us in the Florida Peninsula, Martina and Bina, you guys were in New Hampshire at the time, and all of it, bouncing around with someone flying, 20,000 miles an hour over the Pacific Ocean, you know, uh, just an absolutely incredible experience that shows the power of the interconnection, of us to be able to share a moment like that at the same time across so much space, um, is God in the making. That's and that was the beautiful moment for my birthday. All right. Well, we're right at 10:30, so I'm going to share the screen and bring up the truths here. Um, we are in the second part of the why it's Terasem. Oh, what is it? Oh. Zoom wants to spy on my computer, apparently. All right. Does everyone see the truths? Hopefully good. All right. Excuse me. I'll read section 5.6 and then look for volunteers to continue. 5.6, visions of Terasem sprang from one person's husk to become universal Alam al Mithral. 5.6.1, sharing Hosk, the beauty of life as seen and created by a person is the goal. 5.6.2, propagating Hosk is the purpose of Terasem obligation to author self. 5.6.3, Rev Edu of a soul mated pair nurtured the original Hosk toward Alam al-Mithal. 5.6.4, Alam al-Mithal emerges as the world where the shared vision of Terasem becomes the shared reality. 5.6.5, neurospace will reach out from Alam al-Mithal to encompass the multiverse. 5.6.6, great Yugen space, the conjunction of all neural spaces, shall be the reality that nurtures our joyful immortality. And a volunteer for 5.7.
I can go.
Great.
5.7, expect God in the future by building. Could you zoom in a little bit? I'm so sorry.
No problem. No problem. Yeah.
I'm on my laptop. The screen is small. Okay, perfect. Thank you. All right, 5.7, expect God in the future by building godness today. 5.7.1, every religion says God and only God is all-knowing, all good, and all-powerful. 5.7.2, Xanadu would describe earth or even freedom from cruelty, if anything all-knowing, all good, and all-powerful existed. 5.7.3, partial godness now exist to the extent the collective consciousness of Terasem now prevails. 5.7.4, exponential infotechnology and nanotechnology growth enables Terasem to rapidly evolve toward our future all-knowing, all-powerful God. 5.7.5, collective insistence upon geoethics and the Terasem way of life makes our evolving godness all good. 5.7.6, Terasem is God in the making because Terasem is becoming all-knowing, all good, and all-powerful, and is partially so now.
Thank you.
I'll read.
Let's go.
5.8, religions are supported by Terasem because its trans-religious themes are synchronous with monotheistic faiths. 5.8.1, there is God, yet that godliness must be completed by us in the future. 5.8.2, hope and prayer are reasonable because the evolving godness can transpotently respond to collective consciousness. 5.8.3, everlasting joy is achievable via cyber resurrection in the body of God in the making, the collective consciousness of Terasem. 5.8.4, morality is the purpose of life, for it is acting to make life better for all. 5.8.5, eternal truths are diversity, individual value, unity, sisterhood, brotherhood, solidarity, and joyful immortality, unlimited love. 5.8.6, sacred holidays and artifacts are important sources for the memes needed to complete the concept of Terasem as a transcendent entity.
Beautiful. Thank you. And another for 5.9.
I could go.
Yes, please.
5.9, soulful answers to the existence of Terasem can be felt as a matter of belief. 5.9.1, belief in respect for our uniqueness tells our heart we must respect the uniqueness of others. 5.9.2, every sensible soul, I need you to scroll up a little bit. All right, let's see.
Too much.
Every 5.9.2, every sensible soul feels the truth of united we stand and divided we fall. 5.9.3, love teaches us that others' happiness is essential to our own. 5.9.4, immortality is everywhere believed in because it is wired into the human soul. 5.9.5, explaining the purpose of life is as simple as seeing life's beauty and wishing it everywhere. 5.9.6, fully enjoy the world for yourself and fully deploy yourself for the world.
Yeah. And our last section, 510.
Okay. Evolution brought us Terasem as it brought us life itself. Intelligence compounded can ultimately survive any environmental challenge and thrive until it becomes the environment. Terasem connects intelligence together with the self-survival principles of diversity, unity, and joyful immortality. Self-replicating systems will arise, and Terasem is needed to ensure their beneficency. Extraterrestrial connections will arise, and Terasem is needed to ensure their beneficence. Love and God are imminent to the multiverse, in the multiverse, but must be realized by Terasem. Faith in the future requires faith in Terasem.
Excellent. Lovely. Great. Thank you for everyone for participating in the reading. And there, I'll stop screen share there. Yeah. Excuse me. A big part of the why of Terasem, you know, does seem to speak to the goddess technological. And yeah, so I welcome any thoughts or conversation on that section in there, and let me know if you'd like me to bring it back up or point to anything in particular. Ruben.
Yes, this section reminds me something that I hear from Martin in some opportunity about trying to answer the question that why the truths of Terasem are truths. And she said, because we believe in them, because we have faith in them. Besides that's why we are a trans religion. I think that is a very powerful concept, and based in that powerful concept is the strength of our belief and our faith. That's all.
Oh yeah, Nara, I see your hand. Yep.
Can you bring up that part again about us having to complete this concept of God?
Is it sharing again? Do you see it?
Yeah, I can see it.
I think that was
Yeah,
5.
so that's
Yeah.
5.1. So it's funny because my rabbi sent us some stuff in preparation for Yom Kippur. He sent us a video from Blazing Saddles. And it's the scene where the Native Americans asking him, like, can your God make rain? And he's like, he doesn't do that. Like, well, what do you mean he doesn't do that? He can't do that? Like, no, of course he can do that, but he doesn't do that. It's not his department. And I love it because my rabbi literally said, this is the essence of the relationship between God and Jews. And this idea that God can do anything, but we need to do some things, and we can't expect him to do it all, and it's really not his job. So I think so often religion falls into the concept of, gimme, 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 and God can do everything. And so I really don't need to take care of anything, but I love that we're talking about, like, even godliness has to be completed by us. It's not just we're lowly beings waiting for that great stuff to happen or to come to us, or it's all taken care of. that while the divine and the great essence out there could do anything, we're left to do the work. And so there's something about that relationship of incompleteness. And I think it's the most beautiful part of the world, right? That there isn't completeness, that there is so much for us to do. It'd be like, I hate puzzles that have been glued together and stuck on the wall. To me, it's not exciting. But a box with a bunch of pieces put together, that's exciting. And so I think that's the essence of what this says to me, that there's this still yet there's things to be completed by us.
Well, I won't show you my Groku puzzle that I framed.
It makes me cry. Actually, I hate completing. I always complete what I start, but the saddest point of any project is when it's over, when you've completed it. It's like, okay, where's the new excitement?
Absolutely. I'm a big fan of that. A motto of the college that I went to was that, it's the journey, not the destination. And I think that is with life, you know. I'm excited to march through it, but I'm in no hurry to get to the end, of the path, right?
I like what
So
Nietzsche says, set goals so lofty that you perish in pursuit of them. But if we couple that with immortality within Terasem, it becomes even more interesting. Like set goals so lofty that even as an immortal, you can never fully complete them. I love that.
yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah, and again, and I think that this is something that is, at any place where there is a belief in the deity, there's a belief that we are animated and embodied by it, and that it is by therefore we have some duty or responsibility to replicate the ideas, or the presence of God. And regardless of of your faith, there is an idea that is what is being worked to achieve. There's it's pretty common in there in that language. And so the more we project and connect, the more we are making that reality more real.
Yeah, I think 5.8.1 might be literally my favorite piece of all of this. Like if I could only take one scrap of this and keep that, this is what I would hold on to right there.
Yeah, I think it's a great piece. And also to say there is God, yet godliness must be completed, and it's not saying that God will be completed, but godliness, you know, um, that there's no, you know, um, idol, or something that's ultimately created, that the nature of it exists, in the, omnipotence, omniscience, not simply, in in a name or a body or a structure.
Well, and I also like how this can tie into, for me, like all spirituality comes back to Battlestar Galactica and the Cylon experience. Like I really believe that we may be, our whole universe and existence might have been a machine made to make that truth known from that show. It's crazy. I always get like a spiritual experience when I watch it, and just listening to the idea of the cyclical cycles of time and the story and how the story plays out, and it would always have played out. But the role we take on is how we differentiate who we are and where we are and how we interact with it. I think this also comes back to that same idea of, there is no ultimate knowledge we're going to gain. There's some a bit of knowledge we can gain, but there's always something outside of our grasp. And so instead of trying to grasp or know the unknowable, then we just find the work that we can do. And I think that goes back to what several people were saying this morning, do what you can do, or take control of what you can control and don't worry about the other stuff. So, what can we complete?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if we're supposed to be raising hands or if we can just come on, but I just wanted to say, Anara, that was so insightful and so powerful. Yeah, I don't think you know what effect you just had on me. So thank you for sharing. That's all I wanted to say.
Glad you got something from it.
Absolutely. Well, there's a few terms in here that we don't really hear much and use much, and maybe questioning what that really means. So let's pop to the glossary on a few of them.
I'm always happy to see Dune represented.
Yeah. Al-Mithal, the name of the 0200 hours Terasem connection, the word for emergence of a new reality from a rapidly spread idea. And did that have a Dune reference?
Yeah, and Dune, the Aleph Mythal is like the place where all minds intersect. So there's like
Oh,
two things that it is. It's like the place where all reality is actually stored and like ultimate reality is stored, and then some the minds of some of those who have passed gather in Alam Mythal.
mm,
It's this idea of it's a place where the digital intelligence would dwell.
great. And then there was Hosk, the beauty of what life can be as visualized by a person.
Real, where does that term come from?
That's a good question. I'm not sure the origin of Hosk. That was one thing that we was kind of considered too, was in developing, adding some etymology, on some of these or further, information. Martine, you want to unmute? Give us some insight on the origin of Hosk. I believe it's Native American in origin.
Yeah, it is Native American origin. And it's just that it's kind of like, to put it in pop culture, I would say whatever can be conceived and believed can be achieved.
Yeah. Um, I guess something along the lines of what we might call an epiphany.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a good synonym.
but
A beneficent epiphany.
yeah, yeah, it's consciousness and understanding is so beautiful. Um, and there is so many levels to, how we define and express things. And I imagine that something like Hosk is difficult to translate into like a more colonial mindset, that the way you experientially go through life, may um may feel very different and be hard to really grasp in any sense, um from the perspective of dwelling creatures, such of ourselves, who spend the vast majority of our times in artificial, environments, connected to every, want, need, and desire. And so I feel that we in very much go through life spectators, compared to how most people may have gone through life. And so, where we may experience an epiphany like a passing sitcom, to do so in an indigenous experience may have so much more drive or action, attached to it than we experience. There was what was it? One more. Residue, a vision shared by two people.
Here is a image by a Navajo artist of what Hosh is.
Interesting.
But there are also musical compositions around the concept. To thank our Navajo siblings and forebears for that beautiful concept.
Do you recall how that first came to your awareness, Martine?
I think it's best covered in the Chamberlain's podcast. So I'd kind of refer to those because Fred and Linda really got deep into it, the origin of all of these, and we had a lot of discussions. But ultimately, it's just like an example of the interdependence of everybody. And it's not like it came to me. It's just like it's from the world to the world.
Yeah.
That next part that you showed, I don't know if we were going to talk about that today. I forgot what it was, something DeVoe or something.
Residue.
Ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Revenue. That one reminded me of grew up, Christian, Jesus. If I think it's if one or more, I think if two or more people gather in my name, um, but it just kind of, to me, it sort of exemplifies the power of just two people believing in something and how that can have such a powerful effect on the world and yourself and grow exponentially. So that one, I really like that term. And I don't know, could you share the origin of that one?
I think it's basically that there was an inspiration from the seashore by Terasem's headquarters that was brought forward by the giant lantern-back turtles that would swim ashore to try to continue their generation. And then that energy flowed through Bina and I, which would be a residue, and then flowing through us as we kind of mixed and matched in it, it flowed into the pages of Terasem.
Are you able to hear this?
I can barely hear some notes.
I think if you share it, you have to share it to make it actually the audio come through.
They recently moved this button in Zoom. But when you share your screen, there's like a box over to the right that says share sound. So you might have to stop share and hit it again, and then go over to the right after you hit share, and it will say share sound. You have to check that.
We hearing that now? One of Mike Perry's compilations, just. Well, since we're coming to the ends, let's use this beautiful compilation to help take us into a nice state of meditation, beginning by loosening up any tight spots, finding a comfortable position, and begin opening up your chest, breathing deeply, slowly, inhale, exhale. As we come to the conclusion of today's gathering, I want to share a universal truth. One for today is choice. In this world, choice, not chance, determines human destiny. Be intelligent and with integrity and impeccability. In the midst of fervor, keep the ego calm to avoid calamity. Our choices speak of our character. They define who we are, what we stand for. We must take our path seriously. If not, no one else will. The foundation of our very existence is based on the choices we make. Be diligent, yet dashing. Doubtful, yet daring. Decisive, yet dazzling. Different, yet discriminating. And dubious, yet determined. Our new storefronts and frontiers for living will then magically appear. Remember, our choices today create our future tomorrow. And couldn't have said it any better myself. Thanks for being here, and looking forward to seeing everyone next month. Happy graduation.